Hello again, everybody. I'm Matthew White, and welcome to another edition of FYI, right here on the Real Estate Channel and from our new studio in downtown Vancouver. Pleased to have with me a member of the Real Estate Channel team, Angela Calla from Dominion Lending Centers, a accredited mortgage professional, and of course the host of CFUN 1410 AM's The Mortgage Show. That's quite a handle there. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, for those that are watching that are not familiar with you, give us a little history of how you got first involved in the industry.
I got involved in the industry while I was chairing the North Shore Business Club, and I really saw a need for people to understand that things could be better in the mortgage industry, and mortgage brokers were just becoming a little bit more popular in the industry. So as I looked into the industry further, I noticed that this was going to be a growing trend in Canada, and it was something that I really wanted to be involved in.
Now, not to talk about anything that may embarrass you, but you are in the top percentile in Canada of mortgage brokers. How did you ascend to such a title?
Wow, I'm very privileged, Matt, and when I came into this industry, I didn't want to just be your average mortgage broker. I wanted to be one of the best mortgage brokers in the country. So I worked hard, and it paid off.
Yeah, you seem very driven. From everything I've looked at about you and all the research I've done on you, you are very driven, and I guess to get to the top, you have to be.
Absolutely. And I really devoted myself 110% to this industry. When the accredited mortgage professional designation came out, I made myself one of the first to become an accredited mortgage professional and set that education standard, as well as be involved in broker advisory councils to help develop products and really move the industry forward as a whole.
Now, you have a brand new radio show that is on CFUN, and I'm familiar with a lot of the people there. Tell us about The Mortgage Show. You must be very excited about this.
I am so excited about the show, actually. I just really identified a need in Canada for people to understand that, number one, mortgages change consistently. A mortgage that you may have heard about 6 months ago, there might be a way better product available. Someone who thought they couldn't get a mortgage, thought that their credit would enable them to have a mortgage, thought that being self-employed was a bad thing, or didn't have a down payment, or wanted to leverage their real estate further. People needed to know this information.
Right.
So I took it upon myself to put out a show and educate the Canadian public, and I've had nothing but fantastic responses, and I feel like I've really empowered lots of Canadians to get going.
Wow, so tell us about the format of the show. Is it a phone-in show? Is it mostly advice with guests?
Generally, the first couple shows that we did were introductory and talking about changes in the industry. Still to this day, there's a lot of misconceptions of what mortgages are, how they're written, and what you need to qualify, and how difficult they are. And so after bringing that on the show, we actually had an influx of phone calls and people that we were able to assist that we now use on all the examples when we are talking on the show. So
the future of, I guess, of the show would be eventually taking phone-in questions and things like that from people that have?
Yes, well, we only use examples from the show from people.
Okay, good. Now, another thing, I saw you actually on Realty Television the other day.
Oh, yes.
Tell us about the TV appearances you've been doing.
Again, I just have really taken it upon myself to make sure that people are educated on the changes in the industry, to have the ability to empower themselves, to not hold themselves back from home ownership or to leverage their real estate further. Because again, as only about 33% of Canadians use mortgage brokers, clearly we need to educate people on the benefits of mortgage brokers and how we can help them so they can make the best decisions.
But from you yourself, personally, Angela, I guess there's certain dynamic in you that knew you could tackle this type of media stuff, because obviously there's a lot of people out there that can't. So when did you know that you would be able to do that type of stuff?
I always knew. I just, I really had the confidence that if you are really passionate and empowered with what you do, people appreciate that, and they want to work with the best. They want to work with people who care and are devoted 150% to their industry, and not only talking about it on TV, but doing it in real life.
Now tell me about some of the clients you work with. Is there a particular type of person you find coming to you, like, first-timers, younger people? What type of people are gravitating towards your biz?
Matt, this changes all the time. People that gravitate to me are people who want to work with the best in the industry, and generally they're range from first-time homebuyers, but your first-time homebuyer has changed so much over the last 10 years.
In what ways? Like more educated, would you say?
Not even more educated, but people are more innovative. People know that real estate's going up each year. So we've got people that come out of college that think that they couldn't do it due to student debt. We've got parents that are assisting their children get in as they're passing their wealth down because the baby boomers are the most wealthy individuals in our marketplace today. So they're transferring their wealth early. Not only that, but people who thought that they couldn't get a mortgage because they were self-employed, underemployed, didn't have, you know, the every 2-week paycheck, they're recognizing that mortgage brokers are self-employed, and no one better to understand them than someone who's got access to someone who's going to fight for your cause.
Right.
And in addition to that, we've got other people who are just looking for better solutions, because the average consumer is being boggled down by more than a mortgage. They're being boggled down with outside debt.
Right.
In Canada, $1 billion debt is what people are having outside of their mortgage. And the average customer has at least a car loan, maybe one line of credit, and a credit card. And if they're paying $1,200 a month, which is very common, I mean, that's enough to service a $200,000 mortgage. So these individuals are benefiting from keeping that money in their pocket and further leveraging themselves. So our first-time home buyer used to be someone that we used to know in their 20s or 30s. And just last week, I financed someone 100% financing who was 57 and 62 for 100% financing. So the demographic has changed.
Well, as we wrap things up here, let me throw you a little bit of a curveball. Where do you see the future going for Angela Calla? Up and beyond?
You know, up and beyond, yeah. I'm absolutely committed to this industry, and I'm committed to being the top in the industry, so you'll continue to see me fighting for it and developing new products and always being on the forefront of the industry.
I have a funny feeling we will.
Thanks, Matt.
Angela Calla, thank you very much for coming on FYI.
Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
To contact Angela directly, phone 604-802-3983. Or visit her website at www.angelacalla.ca.